Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Eric. If you're new, please subscribe. Now by today's video, you guys might be scratching your head. Eric, why the heck did you just do all that work if you're going back to stock? Let me explain, guys. I have a few parts that I need to swap out into the car. The last track day that I had some issues with the car kind of wobbling in the rear, and also just the unpredictability of turning because of my lower control arms being one, bent, and also two, the bushings are completely worn out. So I'm going back to stock with the OEM lower control arm. My buddy Chris was so kind to hook me up with these lower control arms for my Evo 9, and they are a little bit crusty, so we're gonna have to get these things cleaned up. But also I have some brand new bushings that I'm gonna get pressed into here. So before we get into this though, I need to remove my Olin coilovers and put the stock suspension in, because I want to have the Olins revalved for a higher spring rate. I'm going to be running 12K on the rear and then 10K up front. So let's do that real quick. I'm just going to use a little degreaser and brush and a Scotch pad to get these things cleaned up and hopefully looking like new. These cleaned up really nice. I was really surprised with the results on them. So now that we got them all cleaned up, I'm going to end up putting some new bushings on it. And just something so you guys know, with these, Whiteline does offer bushings on it, but the only one that I'm going to replace by Whiteline is the shock absorber bushing, because it's your traditional type of bushing. But these come with spherical bushings, and the Whiteline ones are not like that. So I went with the OEM ones for this application to do on the inside that connects to the hub, and then also the part that connects to the subframe. And those part numbers, 4113A063, that will be for the outside one that connects to the subframe. And then the bushing that goes to the hub is 4113A062. It's this guy right here. So they're definitely different sizes, but they're both spherical, and that's what you want. And then for the Whiteline one, W32958, and this one is just your traditional press-in type bearing. That'll go for the shock absorber. Now that we got the bushing out, we're just going to clean up the inside here so there's no rough edges and we don't damage the new bushing. Just going to use a little sandpaper, and you can notice there's like a little step lip on this, and we're going to put the new bushing in this way. It makes it a lot easier going in. The last one we got to press in is this white line bushing. It's a little bit different than the other ones because this bushing is quite a bit thicker than the other ones, and it doesn't really give you much room on this edge to be able to bite down and press this in. So you basically just got to squash this thing down and it'll compress to the point where the bushing will start to actually go into the control arm. Something I forgot to mention earlier was what I was using to press these out with. I just ended up using some like axle nut sockets. For the big bushing, I used a 36 millimeter socket, and for the other outside one, I used a 30 millimeter socket. And for this one, I used a 27, but you gotta be very careful because it doesn't punch it all the way through like the other ones. So you gotta end up pressing it back out to get the bushing out. So now that we got all the bushings replaced on this thing, we can install it on the car, and you'll get a chance to see how jacked up these other control arms are. Check this thing out. You can see how bent this thing is. And then also look at the bushings. They are thrashed all around. So that's why these things had to go, and we had to put the OEM ones back in the car. Fingers crossed these new bushings help with the predictability of this car when I'm turning, and also none of that wobbly stuff that I was getting before on the racetrack when I was going over 100 miles per hour and braking. So we'll see. I got a track day coming up pretty soon. Got 2 months out, so we got some exciting videos coming up. And also, I'm almost to 700 subscribers, so if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and also smash that like button. Next couple videos I got coming up are pretty cool. I got to get the alignment done on this car since doing the suspension mods on it, and we're gonna go visit my favorite alignment guy. So stay tuned to check that out. Also, I need to build a catch can and do a catch can setup for this car. So stay tuned for those. Till next time.